Welcome to Twisted Monday, the triumphant return. So I've done in the first session of Twisted Monday every single full playthrough of Twisted Metal Black with each and every character. And the one I started with was Mr. Grimm. But I did them all on medium difficulty. Now we're bumping it up to hard. And we're starting with one of the hardest characters anyway. Mr. Grimm once again. Now we've seen all the story cutscenes, we've gone through the manual, I've basically read the entire manual, beginning to end. So we basically just get to run through the game as best we can on the highest difficulty with my favorite character. Let's see how it goes. As a little reminder, the normal mode playthrough with Mr. Grimm took roughly 2 hours. It was my first, so I had by far the least amount of practice. And I was already out of practice. And I included the cutscenes, which added another 5 minutes, so it was barely 2 hours, I'll say that for myself. But now it's time to see how much I've improved over the course of like a year and a half or so of frequent Twisted Metal playthroughs. And perhaps hard difficulty isn't really that hard. Maybe it's just nominal. Because the default game is quite difficult. Notoriously difficult, some have said. So, what makes hard mode actually hard? What differences are there, if any? Well, the main one that we're probably going to notice frequently is damage values have been shifted dramatically to the benefit of the AI. That barely landed a hit yet, so it's not really evident. But enemies will take, it feels like about half damage when struck with a weapon, which is ridiculous. I think it is closer to 33%, maybe as low as 25%. But that is a very, very big difference. Our big benefit as Mr. Grimm is burst damage. It's the main thing that keeps us alive. And you'll note we are currently not alive as a result of our lack of burst damage. New behaviors are also cranked up to 11. They will be all over my case at all times. And their abuse of energy moves is especially bad. So shields are going to be very common. And especially freeze shots. Freeze shots are frustratingly constant. I believe this is why the cheap shot mechanic was ever implemented in this game. It's because when the enemies are on hard difficulty, they will attempt to freeze you so constantly that there is a high probability that they will freeze you at the same moment that another character has frozen you. And that's when they get the cheap shot punishment, which causes them to be frozen instead of you. That is going to be one of the few saving graces that can make hard difficulty a little more manageable. But it's only going to happen once every couple of levels, if that. And frozen enemies will unfreeze before we do. Or roughly at the same time as we do. So it's not going to make all the difference in the world. There's one more gigantic change Just a devastating one that really screws over the player. And I will point it out when it comes up. Which probably is right about now. Watch the mini-map. I've used my recharge. And the recharge station is still removed from the minimap. We get 1 recharge per level. Every single level, no exceptions. Essentially, we have 1 fewer life to work with. Because that's the way that I use the recharges. Is when I hit blinking red health. As to essentially give me an additional life. So we've lost 1 of them per level. And that's maybe the most brutal change. It certainly combines with the other changes in a very, very cruel way. So we are playing an extraordinarily fragile vehicle. And not only are the values of damage that enemies receive altered, the values of damage that they deal are altered in their favor as well. Unsurprisingly. So Grim can be wiped out near immediately if 2 or 3 enemies stack up, as they are more inclined to do. I believe that it's not an intended programming thing, like they didn't plan to have enemies try to gang up on you. But it still works out that way because of their increased aggression behaviors. And when they're all on top of you, you are going to suffer horribly very, very quickly. Bang shot bonus, that was pure luck. I take no credit for that. Satellite is exactly the one that I did not want to get there. Or pretty much ever. Satellite is bad. But the way that enemies use Satellite on hard difficulty is downright unfair. They basically use it as a way to keep you away for the entire duration of the Satellite. Because if you ever set foot within range, they will immediately drop the Satellite missiles and instantly kill you. You start to learn that the duration for which the Satellite missiles stay in the air is extremely long. Shadow's a nightmare. Shadow's been upgraded to one of the most dangerous enemies in the entire game, on the highest difficulty. Because she is a sniper with that special, and where it is normally relatively trivial as far as damage, it is no longer trivial, it is now devastating. Every single attack is devastating. We gotta play it a bit safe with health pickups. Don't know why I thought that was going to hit Axel there. Axel becomes a significantly more dangerous opponent because he will juggle you forever and you can't move while you're being juggled. Mr. Grimm's shape is very detrimental for combat. I do tend to roll around a lot and get stuck in place. And while I'm stuck in place, I will get hit multiple times. Everybody followed me underground, so there was no chance of hitting anybody. I might even want to take down Bob's big boy over there and use the ramp to get on top of the Crusher, because there's a health pickup up there, and I really need every resource I can get. There's Axel, still waiting to die. You'll notice fire missiles are essentially worthless at this point, because their damage is negligible. Homing missiles even more so. I still keep homing missiles to finish off enemies when they are in flashing red, because they are pretty defensive and very hard to hit. Homing missiles are one of the few things that can hit them. They especially do not want to be hit. That got him. So, down to just one final enemy. That cues the action-packed "Here Comes the Fun Part" music, which is unfortunately not accurate on hard difficulty. Something I typically never do is go and grind for weapons to bring to the next level, because I find that frustrating and obnoxious. Unfortunately, it is close to essential at this point in order to keep ourselves alive. I have a lot of specials built up, though. That's good news. So when we're down to one enemy is when the game is at its most boring. We just have to go and grab items for a while. Try and keep our inventory full. Because that last enemy is probably not going to put up much of a fight. And now we should be ready to finish the job. The job is finished. Bit of a close call. Not my best performance. And this is by far the easiest level in the game. So the tweaks make suburbs unbelievably difficult. I will be avoiding suburbs. But all the weapons we're bringing should make Freeway pretty manageable. That's good news. On medium difficulty, I feel like Freeway is the more difficult of the two. Now I very much feel that is inverted. If you're approaching an enemy, always shield. Absolutely always. Their lead attack is always a free shot. Essentially, every enemy in the game is now minion from Twisted Metal 2. Which is fun. 8 minions per level. Or 7 in the case of this level. I believe I had zooming missiles somewhere. Stadium is a bit of a dangerous spot. But it does have the back lot that I have neglected for far too long. Honestly, a bit lucky on Manslaughter's behavior there. So the back lot we need to visit because lots of pickups back here. 2 or 3 of which are actually good. Gas cans are fantastic. And power missiles are fine. Don't like this guy's here. Could have killed me. Getting on top of the health refill platform in an emergency is a very scary prospect. Beautiful. But you'll notice full charge, every single shot hit. He's still at yellow health, high yellow for that matter. That would have been low red if he were on normal. The damage that a full reticle is my basis for damage reduction being approximately 33%. But still, it's a very rough approximation. Might be as much as 50%. The next level will indeed be the highway loop. Because in my testing with Mr. Grimm, I have found it to be the easier of the 2 levels there as well. Also, I kind of hate the downtown level. That's just me personally. Okay, it'd be great to get rid of Shadow. She put herself in a position to be gotten rid of. And then ran away, because Shadow's very, very fast. Don't like how low I am on weapons. And health. And everything. Okay. Shield went off at the perfect moment. No one around to mutilate me anyway. This level has sort of a lack of health refills, always has. But it's especially pronounced when you do not have multiple recharges. So I guess this is probably where I'm going to make my last stand. Because it is especially easy to land our skill-based pickups here. And there are a lot of skill-based pickups. Not a single one hit. Love it. I got a lot of specials here. And they're all gone. But that was my first death. I'm on pace to still survive without a game over. No game overs would be fantastic. Especially because once you game over, you lose all of the weapons that you collected. And thus, you return in a pretty bad situation. The machine gun upgrade is one of the best possible things you could use. But enemies are so fidgety that it is abnormally difficult to use them at this point. They will just do anything to not be in front of you for the longest possible amount of time. I'm about to get cornered down here, which is likely to be very bad for my survival. That was within a millisecond of death. Axel was right on my case, ready to use a special. And an entire Zumi missile just went over my shoulder as Yellow Jacket drove past me. A bit lucky there that their timing is so bad. Looks like that's the only health refill currently available in the entire level. My skill-based pickup sucks. There's a fresh one. Better. Oh, that's... You would think overkill. Apparently not. Goodbye, bridge. Time... Use our sniper shot. To just barely kill Axel. Why am I sliding sideways? No one knows. Mr. Grimm tests the limits of this game's physics engine beyond its breaking point. Things almost always go horribly, horribly awry. I don't have enough for another shield. There's no health refills anywhere. Now I have enough for a shield. So we turn and fight and probably die. Not quite. Fortunately, the strategic thing to do here would be to take a death, load up on weapons. There we go. I hit him with a special at least on my way out. And I'll do it again. And then we do the weapon grinding. What I don't like is that he's so aggressively on my tail. I don't want anything to do with his fully charged satellites. And the only thing readily available is fire missiles. As noted, among the worst things you can collect. Which is probably why they're everywhere. These are also kind of speedrun strats. Even though it's sort of frustrating to have to go and grab weapons at the end of every level. It is legitimately very fast to bring a full retinue of weapons into the next level. Which I don't have. I probably should have done a few more laps, grabbed a few more weapons, but we're probably going to be fine going into the highway loop. With this one, it's probably about equal between the two options, but I prefer the highway loop, so I'm going with it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a downtown strat. But in practice, I was pretty lucky with getting enemies to fall into the pit. Maybe we'll see that again, although probably not. Hi, Axel. A little bit of revenge for last time. And here's everybody in the world kindly showing up. They, them are indeed causing mayhem. It seems like the gap in the bridge is eating Shadow's special. Which, if that's the case, that's excellent, because Shadow is a sniper with that horrible thing. Anything to avoid it, I will gladly take. Machine gun upgrades. Very, very important. Go, zoomies, followed by a special, followed by a machine gun upgrade, followed by me getting shot in the face. But I fared slightly better than my foe. All you can really ask. Outlaw wants to run away, so he'll take a bunch of missiles in the butt. Which is still negligible damage because they're fire missiles. Okay. You really got to get the hang of the exact angle from which your sickle fires. Can you imagine the throwing arm on Grim here? Like, if I took a sickle like that, and physically walked up to a car and just, like, dug it into it, I would make a pretty nasty gouge, that's for sure. I would not explode the entire vehicle. And then you throw it, you lose even more velocity. But Mr. Grimm, he whips a sickle. Cars explode. One of the most damaging attacks in the entire game. Pretty amazing. Is the sort of thing that got him through Vietnam, I guess. Oh, the doll mask, hell yeah. So I recognize the doll mask because I've been getting into speedrunning for this game. The doll mask, for people who aren't familiar, is the most dominant Twisted Metal Black speedrunner around. Has the highest times in every category by far. Highest is the opposite, the lowest times in every category by far. So, it's awesome that you have stopped by. What we're doing right now is not a speed run, however, I'm getting into Twisted Metal speedrunning. Make no mistake. Yes! Shadow had to destroy herself in pursuit of a health recovery. Goodbye, Shadow. So yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, Doll Mask. Impressive work. Doing Mr. Grimm hard mode is indeed one of the highest challenges I have faced. When I do speedrun, it'll be on easy categories. I'm just going for low times. I'm not going for being one of the most impressive Twisted Metal Black players in the world. But maybe eventually. You never know. Stuff. Okay. So I got 2 lives left. It'll be a one-on-one, which means weapon collection. Pretty sure the only remaining enemy has near full health, which is the way it goes. When you're on hard mode, strangely enough, when you make contact with anyone, before you leave, one of you is dead. So you better hope it's the enemy. If you're not killing an enemy in almost every interaction with an enemy, you are not going to make it very far in hard mode. So far, this has been smooth sailing. Minion's going to be a bit of a test. Coming up very soon. Okay. That's the good stuff. Even got most of my machine gun back. Time to take the test. See what Minion has for me. Oh, by the way, something I haven't mentioned. I streamed this game. I didn't stream it, I recorded it on the PS2. That's how I did my original Let's Play. I streamed it on the PS3. That was Season 1 of Twisted Monday. Now, I am on the PS4. I've purchased another version of Twisted Metal Black, because I'm just a real sucker for this game. And what we're seeing now is surprisingly uncropped. This is how they present the game. And it's not quite 4:3, nor is it 16:9. That is exactly how it is presented on the PS2 as well. PS2 has this weird, partially letterboxed look to it. Don't know why. It's mildly cinematic, though. I like it. I've always liked it. By the way, we're currently passing the test that is Minion with flying colors. Minion is very, very random, especially on hard mode, but it's going extremely well. Better than any practice run I've had. So I am going to want to be fairly well armed, as per usual. Although Minion still has a lot of health. So a great deal of what I am collecting will go into killing Minion. I can bully him a little bit, knock him up on his hind legs, and he can instant kill me because he's Minion. I'm also not seeking, like, deathless runs of the game. That's another maybe someday sort of thing. But right now, this is my first ever recorded hard mode run. And that's what I'm hoping to show off. It is perhaps unfortunate that I put so much practice into it, because hard mode is dramatically harder than normal. And that's what I really wanted to show off, is a comparison between normal and hard. This is maybe not the best example. Got Minion ready to die. The next level is another huge sticking point, as anyone who's played this game knows very, very well. I got a near full inventory. Don't even need that in the slightest. What I need is for you to be out of here. Thank you. Oh, awesome. Dollmask has even seen my work. Mutual appreciation. Good stuff. Twisted Metal community. It's pretty kick-ass in general. And I'm glad it is getting such an infusion of fresh blood, thanks to the TV series. which we're all hoping is good. The cast is certainly fantastic. That's gotta count for something. This is a big, big, big moment. How are we gonna fare in the beginning of the prison passage? So far, very poor. I got cheap shot, that's fine. That gave you an easy kill. If I die at this point, I've used most of my weapons, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, the TV series has done a very, very bad job at promotion. The first teaser trailer with Steal My Sunshine was humiliating. And I haven't even looked at the full trailer. But you can't judge a book by its cover. Similarly, probably shouldn't judge an entire television show by its advertising material. So I've seen plenty of things that were advertised very, very poorly that ended up excellent. Like Will Arnett and Stephanie Beatriz. I'm a huge Stephanie Beatriz fan. Who isn't, really? Got a good pedigree going on. Let's hope it doesn't ruin everyone's careers. Now that's roadkill. Road killing me. As per usual. Every time I play this, I seem to get roadkill as an enemy. This is obviously terrible news. Not only an enemy, but an enemy in the first of the two segments where you're on the ship. The hard parts of the level. Where you're sort of a sitting duck for roadkill specials. Just come ruin your day. Been doing a bad job so far. But there's one. Yep. Frozen right in front of roadkill. No coming back from that. But now we got the whole level to work with, and two enemies ready to die, and Spectre. Who knew that those parts of the level were completely intangible? I sure didn't. If we game over here, I have a save file specifically set for this level with a fairly full inventory, and I might have to resort to it because I don't want to lose too much time here. It's being not a speed run, but I would prefer not to have to do that. But that's one of the reasons you don't get Twisted Metal speedruns and marathons. Someday I would like to change that, but they are not marathon safe. Not a single game in the entire series is marathon safe. They're all complete RNG fests. And you can only get so good enough in order to counteract all the RNG. I did finally find a use for environmental pickups in this level. Is you take them to the snowy roads, fill up your inventory with environmentals, go to snowy roads, kill everybody before they even have a chance to move. Because the environmental attacking snowy roads is busted. Whereas the environmental attack here is absolutely worthless, and you would never want to use it. If you get a little bit lucky, you can basically wipe out the entirety of the next level, doing very, very little. There we go. Axel, like I said, one of the biggest pains. Roadkill still top tier, and Shadow's over there. Shadow's always over there. Shadow. Shadow's as bad as she is in Twisted Metal 2 now. Actually kind of worse in a lot of ways. Shadow's AI in Twisted Metal 2 is not nearly as good as it is in this game. Yep, that's a bit of a combo. Cornered against the still descending bridge. Bad scene. So this is what I'm used to going into the prison with no weapons. The odds of killing every enemy in the maximum security block is very, very low. But if you pull it off, it opens the doors early. That would be nice if we could do it. Never want to miss with a special, as I've done so many times already throughout this playthrough. Power missiles are the only decent pickup here. And the doors open before respawns happen for any of the pickups, so we've used our allotted one. It would certainly be faster to go and load that safety save that I have. And now that the doors are open, maybe get a little lucky. Let's see. That's Brimstone and Shadow added to the mix. One thing I really appreciate about this game is that they seem to have strategically increased the hitbox of every vehicle beyond their physical, like, car model. Because if you play Twisted Metal 2 and 3 and 4, that is to say, their vehicle model is accurate to their hitbox. And this makes it extremely difficult to hit a lot of the vehicles. For example, Microblast, one of the worst cars in the entire series. In this game, Microblast would actually be reasonable to hit. Maybe a little inappropriate for the tone of the game, though. Just a little. Okay so far. Famous last words, because I just got rolled in front of every single enemy. One down. No opportunities for health recovery. Oh, doors are open. At least there's that. Not stuck on the ship anymore. I always bring the bridge down as soon as possible. Sweet Tooth weirdly is kind of downgraded on hard difficulty, and that he has barely changed at all. And that means the enemies that are now much more threatening have usurped Sweet Tooth's role as one of the scariest vehicles in the game. If he sneaks up behind you and you're completely unaware, he will still hit you with 20 consecutive missiles, and the increased damage that you take will make that probably lethal. But that hasn't changed at all from normal difficulty, so if you're playing hard mode, hopefully you're extremely well versed in normal difficulty and know better than to allow Sweet Tooth to get behind you. Classic death sentence. Oh, leading with a free shot. He's learned a lot from Minion. Hopefully he's learned how to die, as Minion has often done throughout the series. Canonically, he seems to die in basically every game. But there I am talking about Twisted Metal canon, a thing that doesn't exist, despite its own best efforts to exist. Hey. 2 down. I just saw Roadkill's name pop up in the corner. The thing that balances this level is a trillion health pickups. I think this game has this level has the most health pickups of any in the game. And they always come in sets of 2, which is enough to actually be worth picking up. 1 health pickup is essentially nothing. I had absolutely no sense for what weapon I had equipped, and Crazy 8 of all people not by and humiliated me. And they wait with 3 shots at your spawn points. Beautiful concierge service here at the prison passage. It'll be a while before they crest that hill. Here's the good stuff. No special spam. So I'm not dead yet. But he is. I took so much damage in the process, but it is extremely well worth it. That is the biggest threat removed from the field. Take one of those. Yeah, on hard difficulty, enemies do fire free shots often enough that it can be comparable to Twisted Metal 2 free shot spam, where you just get endless comboed. Even with the failsafes in place to prevent that from happening. That was my last life? Shocking. Well, in the interest of saving a bit of time, let's load ourselves up a save with lots of weapons. Right about here. Because no one wants to see all that again. Even though we have to. We'll see it for a shorter period of time. So this is what having a lot of weapons can do for you. Unsurprisingly. Kill enemies very rapidly. Shadow is less abusive in these close quarters, which is nice. And gathering enough weapons to do what I just did is very, very easy, because Minion literally cannot hit you if you are moving constantly. So when you get Minion down to like 1 HP, just run laps around the level. You'll get lots and lots of very powerful weapons. And then the next level, you get to kill everybody. Death here would not be the worst thing in the world. It would refill my inventory. The only thing I have worth saving is this gas can. I used to not go in the front of this little building here. But there are a lot of pretty good weapons up there. Bullseye. Land this special, we are in great shape. In case the very slight delay I have between commentary and gameplay ruined the timing of that, I was halfway through that sentence when I failed to land that shot. And there's fire missiles being completely useless. 3 in a row on an enemy with 1 HP. That enemy is still standing. Still causing trouble. You stay the hell away from me with your goddamn satellites. Sick of those things. Bring down the bridge. If the bridge is up and you're in a desperate situation, you're in trouble. Another one down. Everyone who got shipped in here is now dead except for me. Although I did die once, so... Can't have too many bragging rights. Look at that. Direct hit with my special. And you couldn't even tell that Roadkill had been damaged. And Roadkill doesn't even have that much armor. For the sake of comparison, Spectre, who has near identical armor, will be killed outright from full health if you hit her with 2 Mr. Grimm specials. So, damage values may very well have been reduced by 50%. It sometimes seems inconsistent. But hard mode is the segment of the game on which I had the least amount of experience. Also, I love how this is the one place in the game where we can just drive on water. Because it's definitely not shallow water. Like, look at that. That's an entire ship, the hull of which is below us, quite a ways. You just got Jesus wheels. Every vehicle in the game, lighter than water. If you kill every enemy on the ship before the ship docks, this level becomes much, much, much easier. I've done this deathless, and it is well within the realm of possibility that I do it deathless right now. I see this guy die. I'm pretty much willing to call this in the bag as deathless. Quote me on that. I have set myself up for quite the fall. Or some Babe Ruth-esque eternal glory. We'll find out. Fortunate shot there. And a big whiff because I didn't expect him to start moving so quickly. And an uninjured Darkseid. Darkseid is significantly more dangerous than on normal difficulty. All that HP means it takes an entire inventory to kill her. And Outlaw's fairly similar. And everyone is crowded around the recharge. And going over a hill causes me to flip over. Darkseid rammed into me the second the recharge ended. Jealous of my ability to recharge, which she lacks. You can see where that would be frustrating. I don't like this ricochet, or rather 2 ricochets. There. Blind fire my scythe behind me. I seriously doubt it landed. I do desperately wish this game had damage pop-ups the way that Twisted Metal Head-On has. Because I would love some feedback on whether or not my rear fires actually land. That would make them significantly more satisfying. I could pop up the rear view mirror, but I don't find it to be especially useful. Especially not in the state that I've altered it to. It's just a tiny little section of the screen. Okay, they're teaming up again. Shield's misfiring again. Darkseid going for T-Slide bonuses. I know someone in chat is full well the efficacy of T-Slide bonuses. They deal essentially double damage compared to regular uses of the Dark Side special. That is why my Dark Side runs tend to be terrible. No T-Slide bonuses, they're extremely hard to pull off. What do we have here? Got my turbo back at some point. Weapon base still full. What are the odds? Enemies have forgotten about me. Starting to feel lonely here in the prison passage. Almost wish someone would come visit. Careful what you wish for. Twisted Metal theme. I had forgotten. No one to blame but myself. That's good stuff. Do a quick round for health pickups. Nothing. What I really want is another environmental attack. Because we can carry those to the next level and trivialize it. Except he's right behind me, isn't he? Why did I not check the minimap before jumping down there? Oh, that's right, I'm out of inventory space. I'm somehow still out of inventory space. We're both scared of each other, rightfully so. Okay, this is looking good. It was ultimately just barely not good. Well, now we have more than enough to kill this sucker. But, yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. So many environmental attacks. We're gonna be Thor in the next level. So were the enemies. But that's victory for you. Definitely do not want to go to the drive-in theater on hard mode. With Mr. Grimm. Oh, this arena is like the jungle, you say? So as soon as we get in there, I guarantee this will be indistinguishable from the jungle. Exactly like a jungle, look at it. I mean, I gotta trust Mr. Grimm's expertise. He did his time in the jungle. I didn't, so gotta defer to the expert. Every enemy seems to be over here. Yeah, I did not get very many hits with the environmental there. Much better. I want ear-splitting, deafening sound effects. Looks like roadkill might have fallen off. Yeah, roadkill down. Uh-oh. Looks like I'm going down too. A little over-eager. Get the environmental pickup from the very, very top of the hill. Do that so often going for this thing. And I just did it again. So I could still bring this around, but it's unlikely. That thing is in way too precarious a position. I really shouldn't go for it. Let's see what the enemies are looking like, health-wise. Just do a deathless run of this real quick. No big deal. You've all done it. That was not an environmental attack. I didn't grab it successfully. That's the stuff. I'm gonna take this. A little prematurely, but better early than late. First shot hit the ground, so there was no chance of getting a full combo there. trust the power missiles. Do not trust Sweet Tooth. It's his world, we just live in it. And he will make us suffer if we let him. Don't like being out of everything right now. Who would? That's the main available health refills. There might be one underground. About there. Nope. Missing from the platform. Sweet Tooth jumped right down and didn't die, it looks like. Hate when that happens. There's a health refill. The enemies are so good at leaping up and down off these little platforms that are so dangerous I rarely even go there. Damn. Yep, Sweet Tooth right behind me. The thing I said was a death sentence earlier in the playthrough. A lot of hits there, though. Apologies for the worst audio balancing in the entire game. But it's beautiful to me, because it means so many people are getting hit at the same time. Like, only one enemy is currently where I need them to be. I'm still going for the environmental attack. At least I zapped him on the way out. No parting gift. No roadkill death. Or any death, for that matter. No one has fallen off. Did not ultimately get very many hits with the environmental attacks. When they're all stacked up like this, you can get a lot of damage with gas cans, though. Up, I got flipped. And frozen. Same time. Streamers flying at me. Do the needful, and Adelaide, stick of them. For some reason that whiffed. Axel should be dead already. Got a few extra free hits. Haha. Tried to trade, as is his programming. On hard mode especially, you really, really learn the AI quirks of every single individual enemy. Beyond even my ability to verbalize them. Just, I understand them intrinsically at this point. I practice this a lot. I just always perform worse when I'm streaming. Always gonna be my excuse, because it's true, it's not just an excuse. How are you still alive? Grotesque. Still alive. I could use that. Extremely overcautious on the precarious platforms. Shadow killed herself for some reason. Probably trying to jump down to kill me. They have infinite acceleration. They also have infinite deceleration, allowing them to stop on a dime, which usually allows them to save themselves while they're trying to get to you. Not that time. Not sure what hit me so hard there. Just gotta go with it, though. Refill right there. Can't tell you how many times I went for that one and just drove right over the edge. It's embarrassing because it's really nowhere near the edge. These have suddenly gotten very, very dangerous. Oh, that's right, I have no way to shield or protect myself in the slightest. If I were to hang out over here, I'd at least be able to zap them when my shield gets back. I had just slightly inadequate energy for a shield. Let's see where everyone is. No one is near the environmental area. Really wish I could have shown off how nice it is to come in here with a bunch of environmental attacks and then just spend the first minute killing everybody off screen. That always feels good. Didn't get the chance. Now we only have 3 environmentals per weapon respawn. Ooh. Grim has near AI-esque acceleration, which almost caused me to drive over the edge. Someone was in the red over here. Now multiple people are in the red. Heal up real quick. Probably at the last possible second. Now, unfortunately, we just gotta look around for weapons. One of the game's greatest flaws. And especially bad on hard mode, where it takes 100 weapons to kill anybody. Ricochet's develop they develop a sort of utility that they don't often have on normal difficulty, which is they retain the knockback effect that they have in Twisted Metal 2 and 3 and all the other games. They have extreme knockback, much more so than any other weapon. And this allows you, when fired from a close distance, to knock an enemy back, and then you can sort of squeeze underneath them, fire a bunch of weapons for free hits, and they won't be able to hit you in the process. Which can really swing things in your favor when they're weighted against you so severely. Really was dying to land that special. Ended up just dying. Another one down. Always satisfying to see Sweet Tooth's head flop off. And you surviving much longer than you ought to have. Seeing a lot of health refills coming back. We'll go for the cheap kill. Bit of a waste of a reticle, but getting an enemy off the field is just too important. And no way to bring that home. Just a situation you don't want to find yourself in. middle of a triangle. It's good stuff. We haven't been getting good luck on the skill-based pickup. Nothing of value has popped out of them lately. Looks like we got this, though, despite the terrible weapons we have at our disposal. Down. I would like to bring some armaments into the rooftops. Mr. Grimm on a very survivable landing. Just drive face first into the ground. What I don't want to bring is environmental weapons. Those are just inventory stuffers at this point. Reticle could be okay. There's another environmental, don't touch it. Looks like this is all we're gonna get. Tragically wasted a special. Also, if we die after winning, we do lose our entire inventory. We move on to the next level, but we have no weapons, and that's a bad spot to be in, as we have seen multiple times at this point. Tragically. We're still certainly on track to beat my original full playthrough with Mr. Grimm, which was 2 hours long. And I hope I don't eat those words, too. When I was testing this earlier, I tried to, like, bump against the edge there with its guardrails, and I went right through them. Fell to my death. Do not trust the guardrails. Fighting on the bridge would be extremely dangerous. Taking down this sign and using it as a little platform, I find that to be essential in this level. Opens up a very, very useful escape route. There's an example of wedging myself underneath the target for massive damage. One down. So many more to go. This is all going to be about filling our inventory and not accidentally almost killing myself. And it's always nice when an enemy decides to hurl themselves over the edge. Probably won't happen. It happens in the minority of runs that I've done at this level. But I also had a run where 2 enemies yeeted themselves. That was by far my fastest and easiest run of this level. Spectre outmaneuvering me very easily. The downed plane is a terrible spot to do combat. And I had a little too much velocity. Saw it coming, hit the brakes 1 second too late. We didn't lose too much in the way of ammo. We did technically meet our kill quota, sort of. Obviously, with 1 fewer recharge, your kill quota is very, very different from what it is on normal mode. But it's more or less 2 deaths and heavy damage on everyone else. Not quite what I did, but it's sort of close. Have to fire that off early. The arc when you launch the reticle, it goes very, very high. So if enemies are too close, even if they're manslaughter, it can still miss them. Shouldn't, but sometimes it does. Shadow, yeah. Being unable to see where she's firing her special because I'm going up a hill makes her even more dangerous than she already is. I also realized I've never once dunked an enemy down these death pits. I've fallen down them myself. On video, if I'm not mistaken. I've never gotten an enemy in there. Almost got dunked myself. Spectre. Felt guilty for all the bullying. Threw herself out of the level. Disqualified. On account of being rude. Shadow ought to do the same, I think. Okay, Darkseid killed herself too. And Crazy 8, I think, is right next to me and at extremely low HP. This puts us in a very good position. Or is it Yellow Jacket? Nope, Crazy 8's dead. Let's do this for fun. The Daily Globe does not break down into a hilarious sign gag. And I consider that an insult. That is the one way in which Twisted Metal 2012 is the better version of Black. They always make collapsing signs turn into funny gags. Okay. That ended up trivial. Really, really lucked out. I think 3 enemies killed themselves off screen.
You're in violation of Midtown City Code 44.
I barely tried. Now, Warhawk is, as far as I can tell, not upgraded at all on hard difficulty. The tankers are upgraded. They have slightly higher HP. And that's the change from normal to hard. So this is probably going to be annoying, but relatively easy. I've still never done it deathless, so I'll say that. Benefit Warhawk here. As final bosses go, this one's not the most terrifying. An otherwise quite difficult video game. Disabling the tankers takes 1 special from Mr. Grimm. That is the only use for our special, and apparently it doesn't take 1 full special. 1 full special comes up slightly short. Now I know. That's too much damage. No, it wasn't. It was basically perfect. I have found the tankers to be much more free-willed than they are on normal. And they refuse to get in position and die on the helipad like I need them to. But this time they did. As noted, our special basically cannot hit the helicopter. I would be thrilled if we landed a scythe on the helicopter, but I've never done it. It's definitely possible, but I've never done it. Tried many times, too. This is probably going to be a bit of an anticlimax. Especially because our only reasonable weapon to use at this point is fire missiles. And satellites. Satellites get the job done much faster, but they're random. Ah, right. If you're right underneath Warhawk, it dips the nose down. And that should be the circumstance under which we can land a special. Oh well. Threw away my only special. Maybe I can get the killing blow with a special. Where you at? I missed again. No one to blame but myself, really. Although I'm pretty sure the hitbox was like right in my face. Such that virtually nothing could have missed, and yet I managed to miss. Not fully convinced it's my fault. Chase that carrot on a stick, even if it killed me. And satellite missiles for guaranteed victory if Warhawk ever decides to purge. There we go. That's hard mode completed. Yeah, we probably got a relatively uncommon glitch wherein the weapon clips through the enemy, despite the fact that it should have hit them. But Warhawk is notably a pretty easy final boss on hard mode. There we go, that was our full run. Took longer than I'd hoped, but we're still pretty, it was a good example of how hard mode plays. My practice run before this was precisely 59 minutes long from beginning to end. Then you start streaming, you play worse. Oh well. Hard mode is significantly harder, as I hope was adequately demonstrated there. But I do wish we had been able to spend more time on the rooftops. It's actually kind of unfortunate that the enemies all killed themselves. There will likely be additional hard mode streams for Twisted Metal Black, as there is definitely more to show. But for now, that was Mr. Grimm. Favorite character. Good times. They really blunted that scythe. But the job was completed. Vegetarian rage has wiped out all humanity. And yeah, he's not a vegetarian anymore. Now he's quite the cannibal. Good job, Mr. Grimm. Now, I did say I was getting interested in Twisted Metal speedrunning. That was not a promise for the future. That was for today. Right now, I'm about to perform my first ever speedrun of Twisted Metal 1 from 1995. And we'll see how it goes. And every week after Twisted Monday, I will be attempting a different game's speedrun. For Twisted Metal 1, that will be very manageable. When we get to Twisted Metal 2, much less so. So I don't know if I'm going to go chronologically. I still have to decide, but we'll see how things go in Twisted Metal 1. Coming right up. Hope you stay tuned. That'll be an ongoing project as we go through each game and just try to speed them all way, way up. Maybe we'll come back to Twisted Metal Black and see how fast I am after significant speedrun practice. That's, like I said, coming right up this week and every week. And also every day this week. Tomorrow will be more speedruns, and the next day, Twisted Metal will be speedrun practiced every day. So Twisted Monday now lasts the entire week. Rejoice. Not guaranteed for every single day. That is Twisted Metal Black completed. I am Fiendly, and I thank you for watching Twisted Monday.